and gentlemen, on today's show on EGTV, we're going to be getting into a bunch of stuff. But first, an update for Gabriel Jesus. Could it be good news and a little bit of bad news all mixed in the same time? Yes, it is. Also, we're going to be getting into Zinchenko and an update on Zinchenko. We're also linked to Diego Simeone's son, who currently plays in Italy. He's a striker. A transfer hint from Bissouma that he might be interested in joining Arsenal. Update on William Saliba will be staying, came through yesterday. We'll just be speaking about that. We're going to be talking about Tielemans and a possible move to Arsenal, Scamacca, and if he'll be joining Arsenal also, and finally Hector Bellerin and his hint that he wants to leave Arsenal on a permanent. There you go. Big up to everyone in the chat right now. Big up to all you guys watching. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from, because we were getting people watching from Uganda. We're getting people watching from Africa. We're getting people watching from all parts of Africa, actually. I've seen people from Nigeria, from Ghana. I've seen some people say they're from Congo, Uganda, Somalia, Ethiopia. I've seen people calling from South America, Canada. Big up to all you guys. You know what? The brother's almost at 12,000 subscribers, so help us get there. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get on to all the transfer news. Big up Sam's joining us. Also, Harry will be jumping through very, very soon, but there's a lot to get into. How you doing, Sam?
I'm feeling good, bro. Like the summer window is in full swing, bro. It's rumors. That's what it is now.
There you go. We got some people already telling us where they're coming in from. You got people from Nigeria. You got people coming from Northern Ireland. Okay, big up Lenny from Northern Ireland. What I'm going to do is, guys, ask me your questions so I can respond to them throughout the video, so we can have other things to discuss. But we're going to discuss the hijackings and all that other stuff. We're going to discuss all that. So I can already see people saying hijacks from Spurs. We're going to get into that. The update in Gabriel Jesus is going to be the big story for today's video. So I'm going to save that for a little bit later in the video. We're going to discuss some of the other stuff first, because there's a lot to discuss. There is a situation with Diego Simeone's son. Yes. It looks like Arsenal's after Diego Simeone's son. William Saliba looks like he's going to be staying. Tielemans update. We're going to get onto what that is. Scamacca. There's an update for Scamacca from Fabrizio Romano. Big up Harry. Harry, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I've seen you in person more than I've seen you on streams lately. That's a good thing, no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how life should be, right? That's how life should be.
That's definitely how life should be. You know what? We got a lot to get through, but where should we begin? Should we begin with Gabriel Jesus or leave that for a little bit later? Because I think you said you have to go.
Yeah, I've got about 30 minutes before I have to run out. So
okay, so let's do Gabriel Jesus first, because there's a lot to unpack with Gabriel Jesus, right? So we'll start with Gabriel Jesus and we'll work our way backwards. If you guys haven't heard, there is two sets of rumors. There's three sets of rumors with Gabriel Jesus. Okay, so the first, I'm gonna go in order of what's most believable to least believable, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with the transfer window. It's a very silly season. We've been through it enough times, guys, to know that there's some things you just can't believe and some things that are just paper talk. So, we got another person here. M in the house. M, what's good?
Nigga.
I'm chilling. So it's good to have us four here. Let's get this show started. So first things first, Gabriel Jesus. If you guys haven't heard, apparently Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Gabriel Jesus. The report came out yesterday from Football Insider that Gabriel Jesus has agreed personal terms with the club. And let me just show you guys the report. Now, this doesn't mean the club are now going to sign the player guaranteed. This just means we don't have to worry about that portion of the deal. It looks like that portion of the deal is sorted. We know how much he's going to get paid. If you don't know already, Sam, M, and Harry, he's going to get paid close to 200K per week, which is around what Lacazette was getting anyways. So that is the first rumor. So just tell me your thoughts on that. What do you think about that part of the Gabriel Jesus information? It's good to hear, but we still don't know anything about if the club are going to get the deal done. But yeah, that is the first part. Now, if you want, I can just lay everything out there before we continue. There is also another thing with Real Madrid. Apparently, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid are both interested in have both been offered to Gabriel Jesus. It's not that they're interested. They've both been offered to Gabriel Jesus. So at this moment in time, Gabriel Jesus has been offered to both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. And finally, the last thing, apparently, Tottenham Hotspur are also looking at Gabriel Jesus and could make a last-minute bid to try to sign the
You know what
striker.
this is, bro? This
So
is like a classic. It's a classic transfer tactic where a couple fake interests to put pressure like on us to make a betrayal. We would like they'll say, "Oh, you Tottenham's interested." So Arsenal may panic and pay like 55 million for Jesus. I think this is a ploy. I think we're the only option that is interested in Jesus. If Jesus would go to Tottenham, why is he leaving Man City at winning there when he's going to be a backup at Tottenham? The only reason he's coming to Arsenal in the first place is he wants a guarantee of games. You know, he's coming. And that's why he wants to leave Man City because the World Cup's coming up. He wants to guarantee his position in the squad, and he wants to be the starting number 9. And we're the only club that's interested in him. That's going to guarantee him football week in week out. So the other rumors don't make sense. So I think the deal's already done, in my opinion. I think he is an Arsenal player.
Boom. What about you, Harry? What do you think about these rumors? Apparently, we're offering him around 190K per week or 200K. Plus, there's rumors of other clubs not being interested. So, what do you think about all these rumors?
I mean, it feels like he wants a new project. He wants to be part of something, and he wants to be valued. And I think Arteta's probably assured him of that. However, with Arsenal, there's no guaranteed success, is there? There's no guarantee that we'll make Champions League next season. With Spurs, they're obviously playing Champions League football next season, and with Real Madrid, you're joining you're joining the biggest club in the world. So, look, I don't know if they're interested in him. I do think it is a potential problem if Spurs or Real Madrid do come in for him, because I think they're decent options for him. But I'm hoping the Arteta connection is worth more than that. But if Real Madrid come in for him, you know, his salary will probably be higher than 200K a week, and the prospects of winning trophies is immediate. So I think you'd have to hold your hands up and say, well, we're losing out to a better team. But whether it's between us and Spurs, I'm not so sure. Like I said, he might want Champions League football next year to play under Conte. But is he going to get as many minutes with Harry Kane there? Probably not. So we'll have to wait and see. But like Sam said, I'm quite confident that we're going to secure this one, because it feels like the rumours have been floating around for way too long for it not to happen. So I think we're probably just ironing out the figures with Man City. And once that's agreed, then we're good to go.
Okay. We're gonna discuss all parts of this deal because there is a lot to unpack here. Obviously, the Tottenham part, which has been debunked previously, the wages, is he worth around 200K? We're gonna have to discuss that also. I think that is not an issue in my opinion, but I'm gonna have to ask you guys that also. And then the final part is the Real Madrid part and the Atletico Madrid part. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the Atletico part, the more the Real Madrid part, because obviously, if Real Madrid come in for a player, that is something to worry about. So, are you guys worried that we could lose the player to Real Madrid? I'm just gonna go with M first because you haven't spoken. M, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think if Real Madrid come in, I think it's over because you can see what they can offer. Champions League, winning titles, they can easily offer that. We can only offer Europa League football, fortunately. So,
Why is he going to leave Man City then? Why is he leaving Man City when that's the exact same thing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think he will go to Real Madrid even if it means he'll sit on the bench.
Interesting.
Because literally he can just win everything there. He can just become another Hazard and just sit on the bench and win all those trophies.
The point is, be like, he already plays for Man City. He's already won everything there, so there's no it doesn't make sense. Why is he leaving Man City?
I think the player would have more ambition than just to sit on the bench. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, I do, but I think Real Madrid is so big for the CV that he'd probably take a hit on his progression or a hit on his minutes because he thinks, well, I'm playing for Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are a different kettle of fish. He probably faces a similar problem if he was to move to Spurs in terms of Madrid, because you've got Benzema, you've got Vinicius, so he'll still have to battle for minutes there. But Benzema's not getting any younger. They could offer him that role in the future. So I don't know, but it feels like he settled in England, and we have the upper hand at the moment.
Big up Tyreek Talks in the house, guys. Go check out Tyreek Talks' channel, also amazing channel. But yo, Tyreek, if you want to jump on, just DM me, bro. I'll get you the link out there. But yeah, continuing on. Harry, Samuel, are you guys worried about Real Madrid taking him away?
I'm not that worried. The only reason he's leaving Man City is for game time. So I think I'm not that worried. We're the only club that offers some game time, so no.
Okay. And then the final thing, the Spurs factor, because sorry, we've already spoken about Spurs, right? Am I mistaken? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
do.
mentioned it briefly. It can't have been that
okay.
memorable, but yeah.
How about this then? The 200K. Anybody have an issue with the wages? Because I don't think 200K per week is an issue in today's football. People, everyone's getting paid a certain amount of money, especially if he's going to come in to be a starter. I think that is average pay for what a starter is. Like, don't forget, Lacazette was on 190. Partey's on 200, and the fact that we don't have Champions League football, we're going to have to pay these players over the odds. So is giving him 200K a week a problem for you guys?
No, it's a problem for my jealousy because 200K a week is incredible. So, other than that, it's the going rate, right? It's the going rate for a top striker. I'm not sure what he's on at Man City. Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned that. I assume he's on like 100 something or
Yeah,
150
he's
or
close to
something.
100 because we're
Oh,
doubling
is
his
he?
wage.
Yeah. So listen, 200K a week for a Premier League striker who you're buying off a top Premier League club is about right. But yeah, 200K a week. The world has gone mad when that is the standard figure, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he's currently on 90K per week over in Man City, so we're gonna be giving him double what he's currently on.
If we're doubling his wages, I think that means he doesn't want to really come. He might just be coming for the money.
Are you serious? You think that's the case?
Yeah, but why do we need to double his wages?
Because
I
that's
think,
the
man,
going rate.
how many years has he got left on his current contract? Is it 2 years?
1
A
year.
Or is
year
it one?
left. A year
left,
left.
yeah. So I'm assuming that Man City would have offered him a contract extension, and I'm assuming it would probably be around like 170, 180, right? It would have to be around that figure, which means for us to, incentivize Gabriel Jesus to join us, then it would have to be a higher offer than that. So I think we're probably matching City or going slightly above City. But like 200K for a striker who's like in his peak years or with his peak years ahead of him, I don't think it's that much, and I don't think he's motivated by money. If he goes to Real Madrid, then you could possibly throw that scenario out there because there's no guarantee of minutes, but he'll be on an absolute massive weekly wage. But I'm with Samuel on this. I just think he wants a new home. He wants somewhere where he's valued, and I think 200K a week is a decent amount, to be honest.
Yeah. Big up
Do
to
you
people
guys think
watching
if we
from
sign
India.
Jesus, he's going to be the only striker we sign?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that once we're discussing Scamacca, because is it possible that we could actually be after two strikers? You never know. How about this? Big up watching from India. We're doing a poll to see where everyone's watching from. So big up watching from India. That's another country that we have to add onto the list. Big up Naz, one of the members to the channel. You can become a member saying Edu loves Jesus, and that will be his first signing most likely. And he also says big up Harry. Big up Egal also. Big up to me. Thank you. Appreciate it. What terms? Check Fabrizio. What do you mean check Fabrizio? What did Fabrizio say? When I'm saying he's agreed personal terms, that's what's reported, as reported by the
Fabrizio hasn't said
football.
anything.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano hasn't said anything on that. But when it comes to reports, there's reports from other people besides just Fabrizio Romano. He's not the only person who reports stuff. Real Madrid hijack as well. Unlikely, but it could happen. Check Romano. I don't know. Romano didn't say anything. Did he say anything on thing? Because I didn't see anything on him saying anything about. Last time I checked, Fabrizio didn't say anything on Gabriel Jesus today.
I'm gonna have a look
because I'm looking at it too. He spoke about Sassuolo and that player, but we're going to get onto that in a second. He spoke about Henrik Mkhitaryan. Don't see anything about Jesus. He spoke about Bellerin. I don't see anything on Jesus. I'm looking a little bit.
maybe they're referring to Bergwijn because I know that's in the comments as well.
Yeah, I don't see anything on that. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye out for Fabrizio's tweet. He said Bergwijn's going to Ajax. Oh, is that it?
It's Ajax Everton.
No one really cares about Bergwijn over here. I'm not gonna lie. We're not focused on Tottenham. Tottenham bid 45 million for Jesus. No, they didn't.
It's not true. It's fake. Egal is fake.
Okay, so let's get on to the next thing. Just before we move on, Gabriel Jesus. Anybody okay with Gabriel Jesus being our starting number 9 for next season, or do you want a second striker also?
I'm okay with it. I think I would have liked a different profile for our backup striker. So I think if you have Eddie Nketiah, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, someone like that would have been better for us moving forward. But if we're going with Gabriel Jesus, I can't see us signing a third striker because I don't think Nketiah.
Could that be where Scamacca comes into play?
Yeah, but then I think it would be over Jesus. I can't see us having three. I might be wrong because I don't understand why Nketiah would sign a new contract if he wasn't guaranteed some sort of minutes. And I don't think he's just going to be happy with Europa League minutes. Not to say that Nketiah's happiness is our primary thought, but there must be a reason why he signed that contract extension. And I don't think he would have if he knew Arsenal were going to sign two strikers. So I think it's Gabriel Jesus and that's it. But I would have preferred for it to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Gabriel Jesus, and then obviously not offer Nketiah an extension. But now we've chosen that route, I can't see us signing a third striker.
Okay, just so we can know, this is what Fabrizio said about Scamacca. Arsenal bid rumors for Scamacca. There's nothing concrete yet. Scamacca is just some contacts with other clubs, as told by Sky Sports. Of course, after playing with the national team, the interests are growing ahead. Okay. So he basically just said this whole thing about a bid being rejected is bullshit. That's kind of what I felt like. I kind of felt like this whole thing about Scamacca bid didn't make sense. It just came out of nowhere. And I always felt like it was some sort of power play. But hey, I guess that's a confirmation from Fabrizio that we never actually bid for the player. Anyone here surprised? I'm not.
No, I mean, so many players don't make that crossover from Serie A to the Premier League. So many players don't. So I'm not surprised if that doesn't happen. I'm not surprised at the rumours because I understand we're in rumour season, right? And because of the Vlahovic deal, there's obviously some current rejections to go off. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're linked with more Italian players. But like I say, it's very rare that Italian players come over to the league. So I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen.
But the price that we were linked for him is between 35 to 50 million euros. And I think that makes sense to a certain degree. The price makes sense. But would he be an alternative to Jesus in the case that we didn't get Jesus? Because as you said, you don't see us getting two of them if Eddie Nketiah is gone. So imagine this may be our plan B. This may be our alternative option.
Maybe. Look, there's some weird things that can happen, right? I'm assuming we're only going to sign one striker. We could sign two. Eddie Nketiah could go on loan tomorrow to a Premier League club. We don't know. So I think there's lots of potential ingoings and outgoings. As I say, I would really like us to have a dominant centre forward. Not because of the obvious things that they do in terms of being physical and being dirty and winning headers. It's not even about that for me. It's just about having something a little bit different up front, more of a finisher. And I don't know if Gabriel Jesus is that player.
Scamacca is a lot taller. He's a finisher, so that might work. But he's not the link-up play guy. Moving on to Samuel. What are you saying? Scamacca.
I don't see him, man. Everyone's seeing him. Italian players, they never leave Serie A. I think Inter Milan is the only place. I think this is to pressure Inter Milan to make an offer. Because if they know Arsenal's interested, then they'll just say that Arsenal are interested, so Sassuolo can get more money for the player. So listen, I don't see Scamacca coming. There was no links to him previously, and now it's come out of the blue. If there was some interest before, I think we would have known about it. But as of right now, I don't think he's coming to the club, bro. He's going into Milan.
Okay, no worries. And M, anything you got to say before we move on to someone in the comment section wants to call you out, Harry? They're like, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What? Why do you want Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
I just like him. I think he's a good player. I think there's some untapped potential there. I think he's got all of the attributes to be a good Premier League centre forward. I think he just needs a change of scenery. I think last year he was, getting England caps, getting England call-ups. He was in some hot stuff at that time, real hot property amongst other Premier League clubs. This past season, he's had a bit of a lull, but I think he hinted at having some personal problems. And he's been at a very, very up and down club in Everton, constantly changing managers, constantly changing formation and setup. I think he's a really good player. I think it'll be definitely worth a gamble for what you get for him as well. Definitely worth a gamble.
Boom. Yo, I'm just gonna move on to William Saliba because unless you have something to say on Scamacca.
Nah, I don't see it. It reminds me of the Locatelli thing last season when we were in for him, and it just never happened. So I don't think it will happen. No.
Tyreek in the house. Big up Tyreek. Yo, is that a bruised banana hat?
It is a bruised banana hat, you're right.
What? That is sick. Okay, man. Oh man, that's sick. Okay, let's just get through some of these comments quickly. Quick thoughts, quick fire thoughts before we move on to Saliba. Zinchenko, woo, guys, Zinchenko. What are we saying? Who here is a fan? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a fan. I really do think he would be a good option for us. And even if he does come in as a midfielder, I see the vision. I see the vision in him being a person who can be like that Milner role for us, who can play left back, play midfield, can play all over the place and really help us out, be that utility piece. What do you guys think?
Listen, I saw this guy play against Scotland. I saw him play against Wales. Listen, this guy in midfield, his technical ability is absolutely sensational. I think if we sign him, I think he's such a versatile player that we can play. You know, we can deploy him in the midfield. We can deploy him at left back. I think at the price, how much is it? £20 million. I think it's worth taking. You know, he's still a young player. He could be. There's enough time for him to be molded to a proper midfielder. So I am in favour of this Zinchenko signing. I think he will be good for us.
I'm hearing between 20 to 30 million. That's what they want for him.
So I'll say the maximum is like 26, 27 million for him.
What about you, Harry? What are you saying?
Yeah, I think it would be a really good signing. I think it would provide us with competent backup for when Kieran Tierney gets his injuries. I think it will give us a succession plan for someone to take over from Granit Xhaka. That could be immediately, or that could be over the next season or so. I've seen a lot of tweets about him being a definite upgrade on Granit Xhaka, which I understand because we're so keen for something new. But as far as I'm aware, Zinchenko's main success at Man City has been at left back, so I think he'd need time to develop in that central midfield role. Of course, he had a really good game against Scotland, and that kind of opened everyone's eyes to think, wow, this kid's a real good player. But yeah, I think it'd be a really good signing, and I think comparing it to James Milner is a really sensible thing, because it is that sort of signing, that utility player who is now looking for some consistency, for some more minutes, for some regular games. And I think if we were to sign him, we could give him that, and I think it would balance Partey really well. And like I say, you're essentially getting a Granit Xhaka type of player, but with a lot more mobility, which is what we want. And clearly, obviously, he's an incredible human being, personality, and character. You can sense that from him. All of his interviews recently have been nothing short of remarkable. So I think he'll be a really good acquisition from a personality perspective as well.
100%. Just so I can get everyone's thoughts on Zinchenko before we move on to the next one. Eddie Nketiah on loan? I don't think so, Naz. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Ivan Toney would be perfect. I agree, but I don't think Arsenal's in for Ivan Toney. I'm just not seeing any Ivan Toney links. But yeah, going back to Zinchenko quickly. Tariq, what do you think about Zinchenko?
Initially, when I first heard the rumors, I was kind of a bit underwhelmed when I looked at it, because I kind of wanted someone that would really challenge Kieran Tierney and offer us something different in a defensive aspect in that position. Because when I was looking at Cedric when he was coming into the side, initially when we did have Kieran Tierney and Cedric as our fullbacks, Tierney became a lot more reserved, and he can do that defensive. He can kind of switch up his game. He's very much a two-way fullback. And with Zinchenko, I do think his area where he kind of lacks is defensively. So I thought maybe as a left back, I don't think he'd be that much of an improvement on a Nuno Tavares. Definitely an improvement as overall. And what I'm kind of leaning to now, and what's kind of convinced me, is that versatility. And it would be a smart signing, taking advantage of the current situation with Manchester City looking at Marc Cucurella. So I do think it would be smart. It's not a priority because, I'm sure we'll probably get on to talk about another central midfield player, certain one who's currently at Leicester. That's the person that I'd be looking at as the main type of signing in that area.
We're going to talk about Tielemans very soon. Just to end us off, West Ham are sniffing around Zinchenko. Is this a deal that you want to see get done quick so we don't have to worry about losing out on him? Or are you okay with missing out on Zinchenko?
Nah, man, it's a perfect signing for me. He'd give Tierney good competition as well. I don't think he'll just sit on the bench, I think.
Okay, perfect. We lost him. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. But yeah, let's just go straight into what you said there. Tielemans. I've already spoken to Sam about this numerous times. So I'm going to ask you, Harry and Tyreek, what do you guys think about Tielemans? And if you don't know, there's been an update today on Tielemans, and I can just give you guys what that update is. The latest on Tielemans is obviously, we already know about the price. It seems like it's a lot of the same stories with Tielemans every single day. But today's update on the Tielemans saga is that, oh, what is this? Where'd it go? You know what? I'll get it in a second. I'll let you guys go first. What are you saying? What are you saying, Harry, on Tielemans?
I mean, it just feels like a matter of when, not if, with Tielemans. I think we'll do it. I like the fact that a lot of fans are doubting the signing. It kind of convinces me that we've done our research and we think, no, we can definitely mold this player into what we want him to be. I know there's issues with his fitness, or not issues. There's question marks over his fitness, his defensive positioning and whatnot. But I think we're looking to dominate midfield next season, and I think he'll help us do that. And it's as naive or as simple as it sounds, if we keep hold of the ball, hopefully we won't have to do as much defending as we previously have done. So I think he'll be a good signing. I think he's a good age. I think he's another example of a player that sometimes needs a fresh challenge. And when you're stuck at a club like Leicester, not to disrespect Leicester, but a club who are just kind of going up and down a little bit, sometimes it's hard to maintain consistency. And I think you could say that about a lot of Leicester players last season as well. A lot of players have struggled recently at Leicester, as has Brendan Rodgers. So I think it'll be a good signing at the right price. I think it takes us up a notch. I think it's an upgrade on Lokonga. I think it's definitely an upgrade on El Neni. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having that one done. And let's not underestimate the importance of having a player that's played Premier League football, that knows the league, that knows the opposition, that knows the grounds, knows the referees. All those things play a part into building a successful team, which is why the signings of players like Zinchenko, Jesus, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Tielemans are really good signings, because there's no transitional period in terms of the player moving, finding a house, all of these things that players have to go through. Oh, sorry, of course they have to find a house, but you know what I mean, relocating areas and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's where Tavares and Lokonga have probably struggled after that initial burst onto the scene at Arsenal, where we thought, wow, these players are looking great. Sometimes it takes a while for them to get used to things long term. So I think Tielemans would be a really good signing.
Boom. Just to let you guys know, the article says Tielemans for £25 million. I think that's an absolute bargain. By the way, people in the chat are saying Lukaku to Spurs is on. What? Never. That sounds silly. But let's see.
Does it? Happens. That makes sense to me. That doesn't sound silly. That makes sense to me.
Lukaku's gonna work with Son and Kane.
Yeah, why not? He could. He'd like to work with Conte, right?
I would like to see them waste that money on Lukaku right now. I think it would be a waste of money for them. But hey,
yeah, it would be a waste, but it makes sense in terms of like a transfer link. I understand the story behind that link.
Definitely do. The Conte link. Cucurella to Man City means Zinchenko to Arsenal. That is another thing. Yeah, Cucurella going to Man City definitely does open the doors for Zinchenko to join Arsenal. Tielemans wanted for 2 years. Yes, we did want Tielemans for 2 years. Go ahead, bro. What are you saying, Tyreek? Tielemans to Arsenal.
Yeah, I totally echo Harry's thoughts in terms of that Premier League proven player. I do think if we did sign Tielemans, there would be a little bit of an adaptation period, like we've seen with Manchester City players, even with Jack Grealish coming into that side, and with how Arteta plays, because he predominantly plays on that right side of midfield in the sort of Odegaard position, moving on to the left, which he's more than capable of, and to kind of dispel some of the the myths around his game that he can't run. He's not the most mobile, but he's playing in a Brendan Rodgers midfield, which without Wilfred Ndidi is extremely open. By the way, we've seen it with Brendan Rodgers' sides when he was at Liverpool as well. Defensively, they have a lot to do in that midfield. And so I do think if you have a look a little bit deeper into his statistics, he's not as bad as people make out defensively. And I think he would be a very, very good sign in midfield, because he's also another goal threat, which if we want to become a top side, we need to not just be looking at our strikers to score 20 plus goals. We need to be getting at least 5 to 10 goals from midfielders like a Tielemans, like an Odegaard. Set piece taken as well adds another element. And yeah, I do agree though that he can adapt quickly, and it would be interesting to see.
Also,
Just before you go, bro, just join us back. What do you think about Tielemans? Because are you still questioning it, or are you sold on it now? Because last time I spoke to you, you weren't sure about him.
I wasn't sure, but defensively, apparently he's not that good. But going forward, he's the perfect number 8. I think he will slot in. So you'd have Partey sitting and Odegaard and Tielemans either side. So I think it will be a good signing. I do question his defensive work, but hopefully, if Partey is fit enough for the whole season, he'll be sitting in that number 6 role, and he can just go forward and do his thing.
I seen a thing where that really like spoke about how this whole Tielemans thing is a myth and how he's actually not as bad as people make him seem. Now let me show you this quickly.
It could be.
Let me show you guys this quickly. When it comes to distance covered, Tielemans is actually recovered the second most balls after Højbjerg, more than Bissouma and Ward-Prowse. So doesn't this make you a little bit more like say, yo, you know what? Look back at this. This might be not as bad as people make it seem.
I mean, it's the same as when everyone said like Ben White couldn't head the ball. Mm-hmm. Sometimes these players have one bad game on Sky Sports defensively. The commentators hammer that player for it, and then subconsciously everyone picks up on that, and then you just look for that one mistake, and it continues your negative perception of Tielemans. Also, what's important to note is his availability. I think he started like 37 games in 2019, 2020, 38 last year, and 32 games in the season just finished, which is pretty decent for a central midfielder. So that's really important as well. So his fitness isn't an issue in terms of him being available. And that's something to consider because we know Partey's probably going to be out for a period of time. We know if we keep Granit Xhaka, there's going to be some red cards to overcome. So we need a player that's fit and ready to go.
Samuel, you're going to say something on Tielemans?
Yeah, I was just like Tielemans, bro. We've been looking at him since he's like on the Wenger days, since he was at Anderlecht. So, I mean, actually, it's been 8 years since we've been looking after Tielemans. One thing people were saying about Tielemans giving away 4 penalties, the thing is you can see in his body language, the way he played, he wasn't interested at Leicester last season. Like, in his mind, like he didn't want to be there. I think his mind left Leicester a long time ago. And I think it is the right move for him. I think even when he's on it, when he, like the past couple of seasons at Leicester, he's shown to be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. So, and technically, he's one of the best in the league, and we need that technicality in the midfield. So it's going to be a great signing.
His mistakes only led to 9 goals from open play last season. What? He had 9 goals directly from his errors. That sounds like a lot. You need to reword that.
Does.
You need to reword that. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. If you mean he's made 9 errors that led to goals, that is a lot. That is a lot higher than the average. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. Tielemans, I'm still not fully sold on the deal. But if it's 25 million, that's a bargain. 25 million is a bargain for a young player of his stature, and maybe in a team where that has the ball a lot more, with a lot more technical players around him, we can definitely cover up for his deficiencies. And on the real, if we make fun of Granit Xhaka's mobility and the fact that he's not press resistant, having a guy who's press resistant that's also not as mobile, at least he's press resistant and he can hold on to the ball in a circle full of midfielders, and he's going to be able to get around that midfield, and we won't have to worry. In a technically gifted team, I'm not saying he's as good as Santi Cazorla, nowhere near Santi Cazorla's level when it comes to overall, but have we had a midfielder that's that good on the ball, that's 2-footed like that since Santi? I don't think so.
And that's what you got to look at in those senses. And people talk a lot about mobility in those areas, but if you're dominating the ball and he can move around relatively well, it's not as important unless you're a counter-attacking side in that sense. And we're not looking to be a counter-attacking side. We're looking to dominate teams, break teams down with different components, with, Odegaard linking up with Saka in those positions. Tielemans also has a long shot in his game as well, which is a different tool to our armory in that sense. So I think it is overplayed a little bit with Tielemans, and hey, we'll see. As Harry said, I like players that are doubted because that's what happens. They've always got a point to prove them.
And you know what? You know who has been doubted for the last year and a half? Arteta hates Saliba. He's leaving. He doesn't want to be here. Boom. the bomb dropped yesterday, and all the people were literally put in place. Now, I know, Harry, you're going to have a lot to say about this because you're one of the people saying, how do you know Saliba wants to leave? I've heard you say that so many times. How do you know he wants to leave? How do you know he's not going to come back? Like, why are you coming up with conclusions? But it looks like everyone was coming up with conclusions. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, and to be fair, when I heard there was this interview, even I was thinking, oh, here we go again. It feels like a little bit self-indulgent, self-obsessive from Saliba. But essentially, he's come out and said he wants to stay. He wants to prove himself, which is what you want to hear. I think now we can, dispel all of those rumours about Arteta not rating him or Arteta not liking him or them not getting on. There's been a clear plan for his development, which was to get more minutes, and he's done that. He's won Young Player of the Year over in France, so we can't really question how we've managed his most recent loan spells. We can question how we managed him at the start, but over the past 2 years, it's worked out really well for him. And now we're in a position next season where we have 3 really good centre halves and Rapholding, so we're in a much stronger position. And it'll be good to see how he adapts to the Premier League. It'll be good to see how we use him, whether he'll be playing right centre back a little bit more. Maybe we push Ben White out at right back when Tomiyasu is injured. Be interesting to see if we use him in the back 3 when we go away from home against the bigger boys. So yeah, I'm really excited to see a young top player at Arsenal. And let's not forget how young he is. And when we talk about all of the great centre halves in England right now, whether it's Van Dijk, John Stones, they're all of age, all of experience. And Saliba is a baby in comparison, a baby. So he's well ahead of his development for a Premier League centre-half anyway. And of course, there's some examples of young defenders, Fofana, similar age, doing great things, and and fair play to them. But everyone's journey is different, everyone's story is different. But for now, Saliba is going to be at Arsenal. Obviously, only 2 years on his contract remaining, I think, so we'll have to work on an extension. But I'm hopeful that we'll have him for many years to come.
Boom. What about you guys? What are you saying about Saliba? I've already heard from you, Samuel, yesterday. So let's just let the guys who we haven't heard from speak on it. M, you want to go next? And then we'll go to Tyreek after. People in the comment section, let me know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, with Saliba, hopefully we actually offer him a new contract as well, because as you can see, he only has 2 years left. But would he sign a new contract? I'm not sure.
But I think he probably wants to see how the next maybe 3-4 months go. Maybe it could be something that we do it early next year. He obviously wants minutes. I think he'll have to be patient as well. I don't think it should be a case where he comes back and he's like, right, he's got to start every single game. I don't think that's how it works. He has to prove himself, and he has to understand that you have to prove yourself. That's part of being a footballer at a top club. You can't just demand minutes. So I think as long as he's accepting of that process and he gets some minutes. Remember, there's the Europa League, so he will certainly be starting every game in that competition, as well as FA Cup and Carabao Cup. So there's still, potentially 20 plus cup games for him to play. And then I think if he gets those minutes and he's happy and we're happy, I think a contract extension will be the next step.
Yeah, I think he'll eventually probably become Gabriel's partner. I don't think Ben White will be able to keep him on the bench for that long. I do think Saliba's the better centre half out of the two.
And you know what? That's a great place to be, right? Back in the day, it was Martin Keown on the bench in FA Cup finals. That's where you want to be. You want to have centre halves pushing, just like Man City have that, leaving out Laporte, leaving out Ake. That's where we need to be. We need to raise the standards, and it's great. And if Saliba does start over Ben White, it doesn't mean Ben White's shit or the manager doesn't rate Ben White and all of this stuff. It just means that we've got players fighting for a position, and that's the sign of improving a squad.
Exactly that, yeah. And once again, agree, because when you look at Liverpool and Manchester City, and that's the standards that we want to get to, Liverpool have a Konate, Van Dijk, Matip, those 3 top centre-backs. Manchester City, Diaz, Laporte, John Stones, those are 3 top centre-backs that all of them are good enough to start for their clubs. And that's what we want to get to. And Saliba gives us that option. With him, he still has areas that he needs to develop, like aerially, in my eyes. When I've watched him, he's this big presence. He's got the athleticism. He's quicker than Ben White, but aerially still needs to get stronger.
Yo, guys, we have to talk about this. This is actually real. Apparently, Tottenham are preparing a bid for Gabriel Jesus of 44 million euros. But that makes no sense, because Man City have made it clear they want minimum 50 plus, and that's 50 million pounds. So how are these guys thinking they're going to submit a bid of 44 million euros? Especially if you guys don't know, Manchester City and Tottenham's relationship is heavily fractured after they reneged on the Harry Kane deal, after Man City met the original valuation and they changed it on the final day. So with the relationship being fractured at Manchester City with Tottenham, they won't even accept a bid unless they meet the valuation. And even if they do that, there's going to be a Tottenham tax because they don't work well together. But yeah, I just thought this was interesting to discuss.
I think the reason why they've done it is obviously to try and get the player's head to turn and give him another option. And maybe he could potentially force through a move there to Tottenham if that's what he wants. But of course, with the Arteta factor and how long we've been pursuing Gabriel Jesus for, I find it difficult for Spurs to come in and kind of change his mind in that sense. Maybe Antonio Conte and Champions League factor could. So I'm not ruling it out. But with the amount of work and legwork that we've already put into a transfer like this, I would be very surprised.
Same. To me, the biggest factor is the Harry Kane thing in the summer, guys. The Harry Kane factor in the summer. Do you think Man City and Tottenham would have a good working relationship, to be able to sell players to each other after that situation in the summer? I don't think that's possible. But hey, maybe that's just me hoping rather than being logical. But I think it's logically, it just doesn't make sense. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say is like what happened last summer when they screwed Kane out the move. Like the deal was, everyone knows the deal was agreed. Kane could go, but Tottenham were like trying to like act big and not act big, but trying to stumble for extra few million. So I think we're gonna see like we're not gonna sell to them anymore. In my opinion.
Those things are a factor, Egal. You are right, and kind of like speaking to some people in and around the game. They do take these things like it's very petty in a way. Agents and clubs can be. So you are right. That would be a factor.
And this is what Fabrizio Romano actually said. There has been no bid for Gabriel Jesus from Tottenham. However, they're discussing with Jesus' agent. Spurs are already really interested. Jesus is a player that is liked a lot by director Fabio Paratici. So Paratici might be leading the race for this, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen, guys. So I'm just going to put this back on the back burner. I think this is what's going to happen. Arsenal, Tottenham, linked for the same player. It happens every summer. I don't know how much of it I can actually believe. But M, what do you say?
You got to remember we've got Edu. So unfortunately, he's probably one of the worst negotiations around. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lost out to Tottenham.
I thought you was going to say we got Edu and him being Brazilian.
Huh?
I thought you was going to say because we've got Edu, Brazilian factor, maybe that would help. But then you threw in a curveball right there.
Edu's terrible, man. He's actually so bad.
You know what? I don't think anyone would disagree with you on the sense of Edu has not delivered on to the level.
He hasn't delivered. The only thing he's done is pay a release clause.
But that's also because the whole team hasn't done well. If we would have got top 4 this year, I still wouldn't have said, you know what, Edu's doing a fantastic job. I agree with you.
Yeah.
He brought in Martinelli.
What?
He brought in Martinelli.
I don't know how much of it I can give to him.
It was his contact within Brazil.
You know what? The thing is,
and plus, it's not hard to convince Martinelli to come join Arsenal.
I would like to see Edu. Actually, I would like to see Edu pull off a Vinicius or somebody like that again.
Marquinhos could be. I'm joking.
You know what? We'll find out when we get to see the Amazon documentary. We'll find out. We'll find out more about Edu's working role.
I think the board are the bigger problem.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to criticize someone when we don't really know the ins and outs of transfer business and the complications of signing a player.
What about this?
He handles contract negotiations. That's not actual transfer, to discussing with the player and those things. He does the contracts. Yeah,
Richard Garlick, not the other word.
But you could talk about all three: Vinay, Edu, and that Garlic.
What does Vinay actually do? Do we know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What does he do?
He's more of the financial.
Do we know Vinay is doing a bad job? How do we really know he's doing a bad job?
Because
no one knows what he does.
No, Vinay doesn't do the football side. He does more of the financial, the marketing, the advertising, sponsorship. All of that is Vinay. So none of the non-football related at the club. It's all Vinay.
let me just get through some of the other transfer news just so we can just keep it moving flowingly, and then from there we can just go into whatever. Harry, I know you're gonna have to go soon, so whenever you have to go, just let us know. And which one do you guys want to go with first? Let's go to Bissouma because you guys love talking about Bissouma. This is what Bissouma put on his Instagram. This is a post where he was talking about how he would fit in the Arsenal midfield, and him and Tielemans should be priority signings in the summer to Arsenal. That is kind of cheeky. And then you also have another post here where he spoke about him possibly being the possible replacement for Thomas Partey. So these are hints that he could be possibly joining Arsenal. When you see stuff like this, do you get intrigued, or do you think it's just transfer stories that make no sense?
It's
Just coming out of-
intriguing.
Well, Egal, unfortunately, I think it's kind of similar to, when Zaha, when he was out partying and his friends put like, "Oh, Zaha come to Arsenal," and he was getting like, quite like giddy about it. I think this kind of shows us as a club how big Arsenal still are and the attractiveness that we still are as a club, because we know that Yves Bissouma is an Arsenal fan. I think what he's doing here, he's trying to engineer something in a way. He's kind of letting Arsenal know and the people in and around the club, I would be interested in the move, but it seems like the club are going to take other options. That's so sorry to be pessimistic, guys, because I do love Bissouma as well.
Okay. What about you, Em? What are you saying when you see stuff like this? Do you say, you know what, the guy's there, available, he's begging to join Arsenal, let's get it done, or do you think it's just bullshit?
We should get it done, but I don't think it will happen. This guy is literally the perfect signing, perfect midfielder. He could play as a 6, a number 8. He's just the perfect midfielder, man, and he's got 12 months left on his contract. We should be all over him and Tielemans, to be honest. We should get both of them, but unfortunately, I don't think that will happen.
Okay. Are you guys worried about the court case? We don't know what's going on with that yet.
Oh yeah, he's got that as well.
God forbid something happens where he gets arrested after we sign him.
I think that's why people are not clubs are not really making bids or anything.
Yeah, because I know for a fact this guy would have been moved away from Brighton by now if he didn't have an ongoing situation. Don't you agree, guys?
I think he would have moved in January, to be honest.
Chelsea's been after him. Liverpool's been after him. Arsenal's been after him. Every top club in England, Monaco, are currently after him. And he's kind of begging for a move away to Arsenal. I know people that I know people who know him and I've spoken to him personally. I've spoken to some people who know him personally. I've spoken to him. He said his dream move is to move to Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan. He wants to come play at the Emirates, but he hasn't heard any contacts from the club recently. He has had contacts from the club prior, but he hasn't heard from them recently. His agent is always listening to offers, but his most recent offer is from Monaco to look at him as a possible Tchouaméni replacement. So it does look like it at this point. It's just literally a hint, nothing more. I would love to. You guys probably would all love Bissouma. Am I wrong? Everyone here would probably love him, but it's not realistic.
You know what? Just got a match, right? Tielemans, Xhaka, Partey, Bissouma. In that midfield, the level of quality in that midfield.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think.
I've had enough of watching Bissouma come to the Emirates and dominate games. It's,
it's true.
So I think. Yeah, I think it's a really obvious signing, but for other reasons, there's obviously a reason why he's still at Brighton because of this court case. So we have to see what happens with that. And I say that respectfully, if it's a case where he's done something wrong, then I'll be glad that we're not linked with him. But it's one of those things where we just have to wait and see. But there's no doubt in his quality on the ball, and whoever gets him. Is going to be lucky. But I do like these sort of little Instagram posts from footballers because it almost makes them feel human, if that makes sense. You see, like, they're tracking news and he's trying to get himself a move. So it would be good if he goes to another club because we always have those messages to refer to because we know that he loves Arsenal.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be random here, but is Matt Turner coming to Arsenal? I don't want to go random.
No, Matt Turner's coming.
Yeah, it's all been done, right?
Yeah,
it's already done. Yeah. It's already done. Yo, we got 130 people in the chat right now. Do me a favor. Get us at least to 60 likes. That's literally 13 more likes. Come on, guys. It's absolutely free. Just hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button because you guys keep doing this where we have 162 votes in the poll, But how is there only 50 likes? Like, you can do a lot better than that. But yeah, Gabriel Jesus right now is leading the race for who is the most likely first signing for Arsenal. Who do you guys think the first signing for Arsenal is going to be? Because out of Gabriel Jesus, Tielemans, Hickey, Zinchenko, if you were to put your money on who the first signing would be, who do you think it would be?
I'm saying Tielemans myself. I think Tielemans might happen first because of Gabriel Jesus. He might be, with all the interest surrounding him, I don't think Tielemans would rack up that sort of interest at the moment. So I'm going to go with Tielemans.
Tielemans? What about you, M?
What's that brother's name? That from Scotland?
Hickey.
left back.
Hickey.
Yeah, him. I think he'll sign.
So you think Hickey's first? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Harry?
Yeah, I think it might be Hickley first because I think that might be the easiest one to do. Then followed by Tielemans, and then I think Gabriel Jesus will be dragged out for quite a long time, to be honest. I think, like Tarek said, once there's other clubs interested, the agents can just play you off each other to try and get as much money as possible. So I think that one might take quite a long time. I hope we get it done soon. I don't want us to be in a Brentford situation where we're playing the first game of the season with deals just not happening, but we have to be realistic. You know, these transfer deals do take time, and it's not often that all their clubs get their business done before the first game of the season. So we'll have to wait.
Boom. Okay. Just to show you guys, 62% right now saying Jesus, and don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Come on,
You
can
forgot
hit that
to.
like button. It's absolutely free, right? I forgot to hit it myself. But yeah, let's go to the next one. The next story. This one's here is weird. Have you guys heard of Diego Simeone?
Yeah.
Giovanni.
Everyone here has heard of Diego Simeone.
Yeah, I've heard of Diego. Yeah.
So let's not look at his son. Diego Simeone's son has been linked to Arsenal. Yes, Diego Simeone's son has been linked to Arsenal. Apparently, his son currently plays in Italy. He's a striker. He's worth 12 million pounds, and we might be looking at him as a possible Lacazette replacement. This is a shock move. Came out of nowhere. Reports coming out of Italy. Apparently, Juventus are also in the race for the 26-year-old striker.
Oh, these guys, man.
So I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe, guys. I honestly don't know what to believe. But that is the rumor. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't know how much of it I can trust. Don't know how much of it I can trust. That's how I kind of feel like with majority of these stories. It's almost like you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But at this moment in time, we're linked to Giovanni Simeone. And it's
has he played under his dad? Has he played at Athletico, his son, or not?
I don't know. Let me check.
I'm not too sure.
Question marks there. Surely
he's played in Italy.
Yeah, I think he has stayed in Italy's whole career.
So he has played. He has played for in the Argentinian first division. He's played for Genoa, where he's gotten 2 matches and 2 goals in 2 years. That's so weird. Oh no, sorry, that is in the cups. He's gotten 12 goals in 35 games in Genoa. He played in Fiorentina, where he played 2 seasons and got 14 and 6 goals respectively. Then last 3 years, he was at how do you pronounce that?
Is it Cagliari?
Cagliari, and now he's at Verona, where he played 27 games. No, 35 games, and he had 17 goals. Why am I talking about this? Why don't I just show you what I'm talking about?
What I will say, Egal, is he has actually been linked with Arsenal in the past. I think it was one and a half years ago.
His numbers are impressive, but it is in the Serie A. So.
We have been linked with him previously, and for that reason, it would show that Arsenal probably do have an interest in the player, but Arsenal are interested in a lot of players. So
he's 26 years old. He's a striker. He's the son of Diego Simeone, and I haven't really heard too much about him. I don't know what his playing style is like. I have to maybe watch some comps on him to try to get a little understanding of how he scores his goals. But to me, this is just another story that came out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere. We're gonna have to monitor that situation and look into it more. But if you guys all agree with me, this is just one of those stories where it's early. We have to see where it goes. We don't know where this story could go. It could be something that comes and goes, or it could be something that we talk about more and more. And the more we talk about the player, the more we get to know about the player. Am I wrong?
Yeah, could be a backup option at best, or a plan C type of signing.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there's players we're linked to every year that we're never actually linked to. So it could be another one of those. how many years have you guys been following Arsenal and you've seen us be
Julian
linked to?
Draxler.
Yeah.
We all could probably name a player that we've been linked to for a long time that Arsenal were never interested in. Let me give you an
Draxler.
example.
And
Do you
Zonzi.
remember? Do you remember Benzema back in the day?
Benzema.
Ah.
What's his name? What's his name? Friggin',
And
what was
Zonzi.
that guy? What was that
Yeah, and
guy?
Zonzi's one
What
all
was
the
that guy
time.
who Emery had as his midfielder back in
Banega. Banega.
Banega? We were linked to
yeah.
Banega. What about the guy who played for Stoke? The midfielder.
And then Zonzi.
That's
Nzonzi.
Nzonzi, yeah.
Yeah.
Nzonzi, we're linked to Nzonzi every year. It's mad. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Mvia. Matt G said Mvia. Yeah, that was one. God.
That's it.
Going even further back, Hateem Trebelsi, I think his name was. He was like a
We're
right
linked to
back that
Holland.
played
When
for
were we linked to Holland?
Ajax.
Oh yeah. Remember, guys, the slipper gate? We were linked to Holland because he wore red Arsenal slippers. What the
Yeah.
hell's wrong with us?
It was a different brand as well. It was just red and white sliders. That's what it
Oh,
was.
it wasn't even Arsenal. Damn.
No.
Simeone is a decent striker. And Zanzi. Oh man, come on. You guys could think of some better ones, no?
Jaxler.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. My brain's
Mark Schwarzer.
Higuain.
Mark.
That was another
Yeah,
one.
Higuain.
yeah. That was close apparently, right? I remember Jack Wilson
Yeah.
started following me on Twitter
Suarez.
or something like that, and everyone said it.
Frankie de Jong.
Was we for ages? We were linked with him. I remember that. Let's come on.
Oh,
let's go.
Apopacano. We were linked to
Oh, yeah,
Apopacano.
Apopacano.
Remember that?
Oh, you remember this
yeah.
guy? Aye, Vida from Croatia. Vida, the
Oh,
Croatian centre back.
I think that was 1 or 2 summers. Yeah, I remember after the World Cup in 2018. Yeah,
Benzema, people are saying.
You got to jump off, bro.
Oh, okay. Later, bro.
I have to go. Thank you.
No worries, big up M in the house. But yo, let's just go to the final story. Hector Bellerin. Hector Bellerin's enjoying himself, you know. Hector Bellerin's enjoying himself. He enjoyed his loan away from Arsenal. He won a trophy with Real Betis, and it looks like Real Betis can't afford him. They now want him on a free transfer. Arsenal don't want to give him away on a free. We've gotten into a bad habit of clubs now coming to us thinking they can strong arm us into getting our players for free. So Arsenal's not going to be willing to do that again. This is a situation where if Real Betis don't want him, someone else is going to have to come in and get him. Roma are now interested in him. You also have another Spanish team interested in him. Hector Bellerin. What do you guys do with Hector Bellerin? If it comes down to the end of the window, and do you loan him back to Real Betis again if we can't get a sale, knowing that he's going to leave on a free at the end of the year regardless, or do you pay him out? What do we do with Hector Bellerin?
Listen, we stand our ground, right? We've been bullied too much in the transfer market. We say to them like 15 million is the final offer. If you don't get him, another club's going to get him. That's how it should be.
Did you guys see what Fabrizio Romano said? Fabrizio Romano said Hector Bellerin has no plans to continue at Arsenal next season. Like this kind of stuff is like the stuff that scares me when players are now trying to strong arm the club into a decision.
Well, do you know what? When I'm looking at Bellerin, though, in all honesty, I do think that we may end up paying him out. And a lot to do with that is kind of repaying back the loyalty that he kind of showed to us in that period when we first entered the pandemic, when he got a lot of the players to take a pay cut. You know, Ozil was one of them who didn't. And that's a different story. But he has been a loyal servant at the club. And Arteta also asked him to stay. Last season, the season before last, and he wanted to leave them, and Arteta got him to stay. He still played. He remained professional. So I think that we've already got cleared out a lot of the players previously. You know, the deadwood. I don't think Bellerin is quite deadwood because he is actually technically an academy graduate as well. But because of that loyalty that he has shown and that professionalism, I think he will. He's also a friend of his, Arteta, with Bellerin. They play together a lot as well. They had like a very good relationship, going around each other's houses for Christmas and whatnot. So yeah, and I do think that he will kind of repay that, and that might be one of the few payouts that we actually do from now on.
And anything else, Harry? I know you're a fan of Bellerin. What do you think we're gonna do? I'm not. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean like you like the guy.
Hey, well, it's not disrespectful at all. Bellerin's a great guy, great professional. I think T's right. I think every situation is different, and the termination of players' contracts previously were because essentially their wages were too high, i.e. Aubameyang and Ozil, or they weren't very good, i.e. Socrates and Mustafi. So every situation is different. I think with Bellerin, like you say, there's a loyalty thing there where he's been a great servant to the club and the club might do him a favour in terms of granting him his wish. However, if Betis can afford him on loan, then you may as well just send him on loan. But yeah, you can send him on loan and then his contract expires at the end and then he goes away for free. But ideally, you try and get a transfer fee. But listen, if money's tight and we need to recoup some funds, then we can also play the strong card and say, you know, we're only accepting transfer bids for him and see what happens. But yeah, it's evident that he needs a fresh challenge and he's done pretty well at Betis. So yeah, good luck to him and hopefully he finds a new club. Can't really criticise him.
And the club set their price on Hector Bellerin, how much we want. We've set our price. We said what we want. If you're not going to give us what we want for him, then
so when does his contract expire? Sorry, is it next season or the season after?
All we want is 10 million.
Yeah, it is the end of the season coming up. So yeah, like, in June 2023.
Yeah, he has a year left. We're like, give us 10 million, he can be yours. You know what they said? Pay him out and he can be ours.
Have you not guys realized that preseason starts in 3 weeks?
Yeah, true. We're gonna go on the American tour very soon.
Oh, so we'll have Bellerin back for the preseason tour then, I'm guessing. If
4 more days until the transfer window opens. 4 more days. 4 more days, and then we're gonna see that announcement that we've already signed Matt Turner.
And Marquinhos, hopefully.
Marquinhos is not gonna happen unless we do it today or tomorrow.
True. We'll see.
Because the moment the window opens, he's a Wolves player. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's more of a pre-contract agreement, though, and that's where it's a bit of muddy lines because having a pre-contract isn't actually that official unless you've literally signed something. And if you've signed something, then it's not a pre-contract, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Didn't he agree that when Wolves were playing quite well as well, I think, or when Wolves were having like this resurgence and everyone was like, oh, wow, Wolves are going to challenge. And now he's probably thinking, nah, this deal doesn't seem as exciting anymore. I fancy a bit of Arsenal. I reckon we'll get that one done. Got a good feeling about that one.
And as Raul says, when Arsenal come knocking,
it's a different.
Yeah, you say no. Oh yeah, you say yes. Yeah.
Anyways, yo guys, we got 70 likes in the chat right now. Do me a favor, try to get us to 80 likes. Just hit that like button right now. It's absolutely free. You could easily get us over 80 likes right now. Also, let us know anything you want to talk about. I seen some people wanted to talk about some things. Harry, I know you gotta go very soon, so whenever you gotta go, just let us know. But yeah,
I'm still cool. Yeah.
What are we saying here? Dembele to Chelsea. Anybody care about that? I really don't care.
Couldn't give a.
We had a chance to sign Dembele in January. We turned it down.
You look at his injury record, man. It's not. We need like players that are available because we have so many injury-prone players that. We need someone who can give us this week in, week out.
You know what it is? We're so desperate for signings that now that we look back, I probably would have taken him in January. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I also find it hard to be jealous now of other signings or clubs signing other players. It happened with like Havertz and Ziyech. I remember thinking Ziyech was, an incredible footballer, and he comes over to Chelsea, and it hasn't worked out. So, if they sign Dembele, cool, but let's just wait and see what happens. I think we've all learned that when the player joins from another club, especially from abroad, you just have to see how they're going to adapt to the Premier League, as shown with Varane, as shown with Sancho. Shiny new toys aren't always the best. So I think, if I'm an Arsenal fan, which I am, if Chelsea are signing Dembele for some big bucks, I say, cool, well, good luck. See how it pans out because Chelsea have a squad of a lot of players who are on big wages who aren't really cutting the mustard at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I hope it goes wrong for him personally.
There you go.
Does anyone actually think that we're going to get Gnabry, by the way? Gnabry?
Nah. Because this is Gabriel Jesus, right? But he's in a much more demanding position where he wants to feel valued, but he's already playing at a top club. He's getting the minutes at a top club in his favoured position. I think for him, it's like more about instant trophies and instant success and that worldwide status. Whereas for Jesus, it's about building that reputation a little bit more. I can't see it. Like, if you asked me 10 years ago, when there's an ex-player that's linked to the club, you go, oh yeah, he loves Arsenal, and it's a fairy tale, it's going to happen. But Those things don't happen anymore. I can't see
Yo,
that.
Mojo's watching. Big up Mojo in the chat. He said something across the lines of, do you guys need a backup for Bukayo Saka?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes. He's not going to be in Europa League next season. He's not, and most of the Premier League games, you got to keep him careful. We'll keep him wrapped up after the World Cup. So we definitely need a right back, backup right winger. Why am I saying right back? Backup right winger. But still, we do need a backup right back as well.
I definitely do think we need you know what I view it as? Forget about backup for Saka. Get somebody else who can be versatile and play across the front three, so they can fill in many positions, not just the right wing. So Gabriel Jesus can play striker and right wing. Get another person who can do a similar thing, who can play left wing or right wing, and also can fill in as a striker. Because imagine Saka goes down, Gabriel Jesus has right wing, and Eddie Nketiah striker. And then we're left with nobody else in the case that one of them two get injured.
For me, it's about having the right backup. You know, we have Pepe as a backup, and that on paper that should be a good backup, but it proves that it hasn't worked out. So they have to be at the right age or at the right level in their career. Because what I mean by that is, if Saka's 21, so there's no way we're going to get a 26-year-old who's at the peak of their powers to play backup to Saka. So you're right, it's about a utility player. Let's not forget ESR can definitely play on the right-hand side as well. I know we haven't seen it, but he can play there. Even someone like Erdegaard could move out to the right-hand side. He's practically playing on the right-hand side. So I think it's about just finding players who can fill in for Saka. But yeah, we have to be wary of a burnout for Saka. But I think Saka's a little bit different though. Athletically, physically, he's a bit of a beast. So I'm not actually too concerned of a burnout. I just think in general, we should have a player that can step in for him, because ultimately we don't want him to play every single game.
If we do get Marquinhos, just like Adeleke said in the chat, I think that he probably could be that. Given the fact that we're in the Europa League, I think if we was in the Champions League, then we're probably looking at a Gnabry or a Rafinha from Leeds. But for now, Marquinhos would have a good amount of minutes. We saw that with Martinelli when he came from Brazil. He had excellent minutes in the Europa League. So yeah, I'm looking at Marquinhos. I do think that will happen. That might be the first signing, in fact.
Yeah, I saw Reece Nelson mentioned in the comments. I have a feeling Reece Nelson's time at Arsenal is done. I might be wrong. There's always time to turn it around. I know there was speak of Hutchinson as well stepping in as a backup for Saka, but I heard rumours of a loan to Reading, which I think will be better for his development. So yeah, it's hard because Saka is your star boy. He's almost guaranteed to play every single game, every single minute. So you need a player who doesn't have the expectation of starting, but is also hungry enough to keep fighting to get some minutes. So it's quite hard to get that balance.
What about Rafinha? Did you already speak on this? Rafinha.
Yeah, T just mentioned him.
Oh, I'd love Rafinha, but I don't think that we would. Yeah, I don't see him go to Barcelona, because Barcelona won't be able to afford him. You know, they can't even afford to get their free players in. But Rafinha, maybe it could be one of those late ones that occur in the transfer window at the end. But I'd love Rafinha at Arsenal. He's quality. What a player. What about you guys? Yeah.
I think Rafinha is a baller. He'd be an amazing player. But the thing is, would he come to Arsenal when he has Barcelona and all these other clubs that are after him, that are in much better situations than us at this moment in time? And as a Brazilian going to Barcelona, that's like a dream move for him.
Yeah, I like him though. He's got a really good temperament as well. I like the way he's adapted to the Premier League. He's almost embraced like the physicality of it. He seems like a bit of a local hero with Leeds. He's a really good player. But he predominantly plays on the right, or am I mistaken?
Yeah.
He predominantly plays on the same side as Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes you sign backups, but then sometimes you sign problems, or you create a problem by signing a player like Rafinha, because now you're trying to fit him and Saka in. So yeah, I agree with Egal. I think Barcelona is his next move if he leaves Leeds. But yeah, he is no doubt a class player. Or Man City. Man City could go in for him. You don't know.
Mara's replacement, he would be quality.
Yeah, he would be good at Man City. He would be really good at Man City.
I really didn't have anything else to say there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Nothing else really going on. I do think Tommy had to come on, so he's gonna probably want to talk about Mikel Arteta and everything else. What are you saying, Tommy?
I'm all right. You guys good?
Yeah,
I'm good, man. What do you think about what's on your mind today, bro?
The Gabriel Jesus. So hopefully we have to hurry up and get him because we just can't keep taking the piss in it. But we need to hurry up and get him. Because
I completely
I don't
get
want
that.
at Tottenham. I don't want our rivals to snatch him at the last minute. We're going to be kicking ourselves because we always do this again, man. You know what I mean? But we need to hurry up and get him.
Do you believe the actual links to Tottenham though? Because I tend to see these links from Tottenham. It's usually it's what they do to try to raise the price of the player. They generally sometimes don't even want the player.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I don't know if it's true or not. But let's be real, he ain't gonna drop Kane. Like he ain't. Let's be real, he's not gonna drop him. And you think Jesus is gonna play over Kane? It's not gonna happen. Like so, if he comes to us, he's gonna definitely start every game. And we do need a striker, though, man. We need at least two, man.
Well,
in Nketiah, we got Martinelli, we got Bellerin as well, and John Jules as well. So we need to get two strikers at least.
John Jules is not even in the squad, bro. In my opinion, John Jules you shouldn't even mention him.
Balogun's in the squad, and Balogun needs to get game time next season for me.
No disrespect to John Jules. You're a great professional, but you're not in and amongst the first team squad right now. That's just the reality.
True. And obviously we need another striker. So I want obviously Jesus and I want Osterman. So yeah.
But Tommy,
why do you want Osterman?
I love him, bro. He's my Niger guy. I'm Nigerian, bro. So he's my Niger guy, innit? So yeah.
That's what you don't like in Nketiah. But Tommy, what I'll say is, you know what? My 9 to 5, I work in sales. Yeah, trust me. Like it is just to make us as fans and the club to try and panic in sales. I'll be working in sales and I'll say that there's interest even when there's not. All right, just to make people try and hurry up and try and.
You lie, man. That's so
one more thing. Yeah. I think Aaron Hickey will be actually good. You know, I think he'll be a good signing because I think we do need another left back. Tavares is trying, but he looks all over the place for me, and he's been so average as well. And obviously, we need another right back. I want Spence as well from Nottingham. I want that Spence. The guy is a baller. I want him, bro. We need to get Spence.
Can I just ask everyone here? I have concerns about Spence. You know
why?
I have concerns about Spence. I think this guy's just being overhyped. I really do believe he's being overhyped. I think he's being overhyped to a certain degree because I've watched his games. He has great attacking output, but defensively he's similar to a similar role to Trent in his team, where they don't ask him to do any defensive ability. They don't ask him to do anything defensive. Basically, the best thing that he's doing is just running back and trying to do 1-2 tackles here and there. Positionally, he's positioned so high up the pitch. That would mean our left back or whoever we have as our left back would have to be the defensive player, and the right back in Spence would be so high up the pitch that he would be almost like a fallback or a wing back.
Also, Egal, what people will come back at you and say, "Well, look what he did against Martinelli in the FA Cup," but he's playing in a wing back position. We've seen the difference in a wing back position. You don't have as much responsibility defensively. You can be a lot more aggressive than if you are in a back four. Because if you're playing fullback in a back four and you're being that aggressive, as soon as you get beat, that's literally a 3-on-3. So you'll be
Livermento's injured, by the way. He's out for a knee injury. Get well soon, bro. Come back as soon as you can.
We've got Brooke Norton-Cuffy, right? He's had a really good loan spell. So I think
I like Norton Cuffy, man.
Yeah, I think he'll be something that'll be integrated. He physically is so strong for his age. Like he's an absolute beast.
Another one we stole from Chelsea's academy.
Yeah, so I think we'll see him come in and get some minutes next year. Hopefully, over time, if we do keep Cedric, he'll work himself into a position where he's the backup to Tommy Asu.
What about Tammy? I seen somebody in the comment section say Tammy Abraham. What do you guys think about Tammy Abraham?
I don't mind him anyway. I don't mind Abraham. I don't mind him.
Can't we get Tammy Abraham? I don't think we're going to get Tammy Abraham. Roma are really... Jose Mourinho loves Tammy Abraham.
We're priced out. We're priced out of that one with how much it would cost to sign him, I think. That's the issue with Tammy. Not the quality, not really the player, but just the price is not worth it.
And the thing with him, his link-up play is improved as well. Like he's holding up the ball. He's improved on that. Because obviously, he just needs to be more clinical. Tammy Abraham, we said
that about Lukaku though when he went to Italy. And look at that.
Lukaku,
Could it be Serie A?
Lukaku is shit, bro.
I'm joking.
Lukaku's not that good, man. Like he's shit anyway, bro.
It seems like Mourinho's building something quite good at Roma and this little English culture. So I think Abraham is probably loving life in Roma. However, if these rumours develop with Mourinho to PSG and something happens there, then Abraham might say, "Oh, do you know what? Maybe I'll come back to the Premier League." But it feels like Roma are enjoying Tammy Abraham. So like T says, it'll be some big bucks to get him over. And then you say to yourself, is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? I'm not sure.
Imagine Jose to PSG and he wins the Champions League with PSG. What?
That could happen, you know. He's done it with Inter Milan and Porto. If he wins it with PSG, then fair play to him. It can happen, you know.
This is an Arsenal show. Let's get back to Arsenal. We were linked to Kylian Mbappe also. Remember that?
Mbappe is not happening, bro. Like we can't. We're dreaming. Mbappe,
no, it was going to.
As I love him at Arsenal, it's not going to happen.
Remember, Arsene Wenger was in Kylian Mbappe's family's house, and they told him we need 10 million for the family. He said no.
Yeah, that was when he was at Monaco.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Was that the same summer we were linked to Lamar as well? Was that?
We win 92 million for Lamar.
No, that was before. That was before we were linked to Lamar.
92 million we nearly signed him for, you know, people.
God.
I love Mbappe, but it's not good. He's expensive.
Mbappe was in Chelsea's academy for a trial, and they
rejected him.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. My God. I hope that man's been sacked or whoever rejected him's been sacked. God, that's terrible.
Not the same guy who's released Harry Kane from Arsenal should have been sacked.
Yeah, well, all this rejection, that's what I'm telling the girls that rejected me until I find my queen. You know what I mean? So,
boom, let's go.
That was like a Love Island intro.
That's how you do it.
Getting ready, Harry. Getting ready.
Okay. Big up to that. You know what it is? You guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. We're going to wrap it up here. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're still watching, do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's get this to at least as close as possible to 100 likes. It does help. It does help the channel out a lot. Every like helps the channel out a lot. You don't need to send a super chat. You can just hit that like button. It's very free. It's very much free. Big up to Harry for coming on. As you guys can see, his Twitter ad is right there. Tyreek Talks. As you guys know, check out his YouTube channel. I might put that in the link right now. What's going on at your house, Terry? What is that?
Sorry, I've just moved house. I've just moved house onto a main road, and the noise is mad. Sorry.
Yeah. And then Samuel, what are you saying?
No, I'm just feeling good, man. It's gonna be a good summer for Arsenal, bro. I'm feeling it's gonna be a big summer.
Okay, so let's end it off this way. Optimistic window, guys, or pessimistic right now?
Optimistic. You've got to be. Come
optimistic.
On. Yeah, even if Tommy's optimistic, then
but for me, yeah, we have to win the Europa League, bruv. We have to win the Europa League
for next season. That's not this window.
I know, but for me, I know, but we have to win it. For me, if we don't win it, like he has to.
You couldn't go an episode without mentioning Arteta. I love it.
Like, because I want Mancini or Luis Enrique. I want one of those managers.
I'm not gonna leave. Thomas, don't you get they're not gonna leave their national teams? They're contracted for at least another 4 years. They're never gonna leave.
Okay, how about this, Tommy?
Italy haven't qualified, you know.
Tommy, how about this? How about this? Try not mentioning Arteta getting sacked until after the World Cup, and then maybe you might get Luis Enrique.
Yes, man. When I get Luis Enrique, I'm gonna be dancing. I'm gonna be drinking my wine. I'm gonna be going out for dinner. I'm gonna be celebrating, thinking, yes.
Thomas,
you know what? We already have a manager, so right now you're not going to contract. Listen,
that contract, his contract is going to be ripped.
Bro, how are you optimistic of the window, but you still want Arteta sacked this bad? It's crazy.
Bro, he's out of his depth. He's way out of his depth, man. He has no plan.
Listen, Thomason, he's still the manager, bro. He said he's going to get sacked this season, and he's still here.
Tommy, I understand, bro. Like I said, Tommy, we need a striker, defensive midfielder.
When you finish your masters, you're gonna buy Arsenal. Don't worry.
Right? But I'm gonna do it like maybe next year because I've got my graduation next month in it. So yeah.
There you go. He's gonna buy Arsenal. He's gonna buy Arsenal next year, guys. You're speaking to the next Arsenal owner. But yo, Harry, optimistic or pessimistic over the window?
Oh, optimistic always.
Optimistic always. Tyreek?
You know how it is. Optimistic over here. Gonna have to be. The window's not even opened yet, so that's why I don't understand people's pessimism.
Like we have to get it because Tottenham are making moves, Perisic, and they're gonna get Bastoni. So we need to hurry up and get our signings.
You know, Thomason, bro. Stop. We have to stop looking at other clubs. We have to focus on ourselves, bro.
No, I'm focusing on us. I'm just saying, bro, because Man United are gonna get like obviously Frankie De Jong. They might get Ruben Neves and maybe probably Ericsson as well.
You know what? He has a point though, guys. If these other
no. There's always room to moan in the transfer window because the transfer window is ever going in that respect. It lasts over a period of time, so you can always moan. So we could sign someone tomorrow, and until we sign the second player, it could be, where's the second player? Where's the second player? It's like waiting for a bus. You know the bus is coming. It says 12 minutes, but all you're going to do is moan until the bus arrives. We know the signings are going to come. We all know 100% we'll sign at least 2 or 3 players. 100%. We know that. It's just a matter of when. And it doesn't matter if Spurs have signed Perisic on a free. It doesn't matter. We know what we're going to do, and we know it's going to happen.
And with Perisic,
I don't think anyone could say it's not going to happen.
Exactly. And with Perisic, it's only Conte. That's why you'd like it. If we sign Perisic, would you be happy, Tommy?
Yeah, Perisic is quality. He's actually, I rate Perisic.
Come on, mate. We signed Willian.
I don't believe that.
Exactly. It's the Willian.
I'm not saying he's not a good player.
He's not Willian.
I'm not saying he's not a good player.
You know, Willian was the biggest mistake we signed. Willian. I never wanted
Perisic
Willian.
will be just like Willian, bro. But he's a left back version.
Fair enough. And you know what? Tottenham, they're going to resign Gareth Bale again. They're going to actually resign him again, you know.
Let them resign Gareth Bale. Me not care. Gareth Bale's going to get injured 27 times.
Yeah, he's always injury prone because I thought he's made of.
Remember they signed Gareth Bale last time? How did he do?
He played all right with Kane and Son. He did all right with them.
Hat-trick, bro. Come on.
Yeah, he did okay at best. There.
He's injury prone, guys. He's injury prone.
Let me ask you this. Arsenal had a chance to sign Eden Hazard right now. Would you take it?
Hazard, he's not the same as I'll take him from 2015.
So then why are you complaining about them signing Bale?
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying they're going to be making moves. West Ham are going to do some signings as well. Everyone's going to strengthen.
So are we. Yeah, so are we.
We need to get a move on and sign.
We are as well. Let's not assume that Edu is having barbecues every day and Arteta is.
Let him have barbecues. I don't care, Harry.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, let's not assume that these guys are just doing nothing. They're obviously working hard to make things happen.
You know what
Ed needs to hurry up and pull his weight up.
I hope his daughter once again posts him jet skiing on his birthday just to rattle some of the fans because it doesn't mean anything.
It's true.
He went jet skiing on the first day of the transfer window because it was his daughter's birthday, and then people started freaking out. The end of the window, we had one of the best windows we've had in years.
Exactly. Believe, Tom. Believe.
Anyway,
hopefully we get the signings and see how it goes for next season, isn't it?
There you go. I hope Arteta's watching Love Island, kicking back, relaxing until the window opens.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that tonight. So yeah, it should be good.
Okay, Tommy watches Love Island. Let's get it. Anyways, let's get it. We're gonna go, guys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and I put the link to Tyreek's channel in the chat. So please hit that and get him some subscribers. He's almost up to 500 subscribers. So let's get him up there quickly, and let's go. Just click that link. As you guys can see, it is right there. That is a link to his YouTube channel. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. Big up Ben. Big up all the regulars in the chat. Big up Lenny, Carlos, Samar, Premier League pitch side with the Gunners, Lucy. What a long name, but I like it. Why not? Blue Chad, Mojo in the house. Everybody who's joined through, really do appreciate it. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll be back tomorrow with more news. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show on EGTV, we're going to be getting into a bunch of stuff. But first, an update for Gabriel Jesus. Could it be good news and a little bit of bad news all mixed in the same time? Yes, it is. Also, we're going to be getting into Zinchenko and an update on Zinchenko. We're also linked to Diego Simeone's son, who currently plays in Italy. He's a striker. A transfer hint from Bissouma that he might be interested in joining Arsenal. Update on William Saliba will be staying, came through yesterday. We'll just be speaking about that. We're going to be talking about Tielemans and a possible move to Arsenal, Scamacca, and if he will be joining Arsenal also. And finally, Hector Bellerin and his hint that he wants to leave Arsenal on a permanent.